owe me nothing. Let's get into my family trip to Turks and Caicos, the pros and cons, and while I had a great time, I'm going to tell you why I won't be going back. So let's get into it. The career love coach. If you've been hanging around here a lot, you know that my whole thing is career love, falling in love with your career, creating this life around pursuing bliss. But I'm also team live a good life, soft life era, live a life of luxury. And so I have been intentionally pursuing things that really support that in my Black woman bliss era. And I recognize that it's really not possible for us to just think about our careers. We need to think about all of the experiences that we want to have in life. So that is why I'm going to start doing lifestyle content on this channel. Woo! We honestly had a great time. It was 11 of us. We took my grandmother on a trip for her 75th birthday, as well as my cousin, to live it up in the island, live in a little bit of a luxury type feel for the week. So I'm going to tell you exactly what we did, the pros and cons, and what you need to consider if you are going to go to Turks and Caicos. And yet at the end, I'm going to tell you why I would not go back. So let's get into the pros first. Okay, so the pros of Turks and Caicos is really that it is so peaceful. It is really like that place to disconnect, relax, just kind of be at ease. And it's just beautiful all around you. And I would say that the thing that makes it really like that is the beaches. The beaches are so serene. They're so beautiful. They're peaceful waters. The colors are gorgeous. And it's just like very chill vibes everywhere. I will say we did go in off season, what is considered off season, so September. But I actually kind of liked it that way because I don't think any of us really like the crowds, really like all the party. We like to have fun, but the fact that it was a little bit more chill, especially in the downtown area where we stayed in Turks and Caicos, it was super chill. So I would say that if you want to go to a lot of the party spots too, and you don't want it to be super crazy, then going in off season is probably great. But I would just say, like, it was, you know, when you kind of go to an island and you expect to kind of just disconnect, you know, be, I don't know, like bubbly, like totally out of it tourist, like Turks and Caicos was it. So that is definitely a pro if you want to go there to relax, enjoy the beaches, very accessible, all over the place, very chill, not a lot of, you know, things to worry about, then do it. Okay, number 2 is a pro, but it's going to go into cons. But I said I was going to do cons later, okay? But the pros is that there are a lot of places to stay. Like, I would say Turks and Caicos is very much an island for tourists, for tourism, and a lot of their economy really thrives on that. So the way that they're set up is like, we do tourists here, okay? And for that reason, it's very welcoming for tourists. But I will say that we were such a large group that we didn't have a lot of options for where we would stay. We all wanted to stay in one place. We luckily found a beautiful villa that we really liked that had beach access. I'll link it below if you want to look at it. The hosts were really nice. Catherine was the property manager, and she was fabulous and helped us out a lot with navigating the island, where to go, what to do, and even told us a couple of tips for like food and eating and all this type of things. So I would say that in terms of living, there's definitely a ton of options. I will say that's part of the cons is that it was really expensive, and so I know that there's plenty of ways to do Turks and Caicos on a budget. That was not us. Okay, we rented an entire villa, and we wanted to make sure that we stayed in Grace Bay so that we were really close to all of the downtown areas, like very easily walk to the major restaurants, the tourist areas for shopping, like convenience center, and again, like right on the beach. So there's a lot of places that are more expensive than us. There's some places that are cheaper than us, but for us, it was a really good fit for the location and other areas. So really make sure that when you're staying there, if you're not staying in the Grace Bay area, be prepared to like travel in. Okay. Okay, so this is my favorite part of my entire trip, and it was like the water sports. So, or I shouldn't say water sports, maybe water activities is the better way to describe that. So we actually got a private charter. Again, I will link to the direct like company that we went with. I will share some videos. It was just honestly fabulous. It was this very like once in a lifetime, I feel, like boat trip. So it was just our family. Like I said, it was private. They took us snorkeling. So I'll have videos of like, yes, us, our family snorkeling. And then also I was not snorkeling because I have glasses and we're not doing that. But I did go ahead and get in the water. And so hopefully this video with that. What if it's a snake? I'm not going to be able to see the snake. You wouldn't be able to see it regardless.
Did she just say a snake?
Woo! Woo! Let go.
There you go, girl.
Woo!
Powerless.
It's a little scary. Yeah, I put the little floaty on. Oh, so Daddy must have the thing.
Oh my God, why is she like this?
And then we went to like another little island. We went on the slide on there. Do it. You got to do it. Do it scared, okay? And then they cooked for us, and then we went on a little bit of a tour to go see some of the different areas that like tourists go to, like the fancy houses and Noah's Ark and things like that. So it was a really fabulous, awesome like experience for us. And I would say like if you can do it, definitely do a private charter. It was way better than having to deal with other people. We could do what we want, kind of be free and just exist and be ratchet because always playing music. Okay. Okay, my next pro is that I always felt safe when I was in Turks and Caicos. Like, we were able to walk literally right down to downtown. It was like a 5-minute walk, and that's like the downtown area near Grace Bay. So we could go there to eat, we could go there to shop, get some food, get some like, just snacks or whatever from the little convenience store over there. So it was really nice. I would even say like we walked there at night. So we went to the casino to check it out, which was a lot of fun. There were like free drinks as long as you were playing. I played blackjack for the first time with my fiance, and it was like really this cool experience of, yeah, just like being like, okay, I'm a high roller in the casino. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a high roller in the casino. Like I'm like, there's a penny, put the penny. But anyway, that being said, we did walk that at night, and we also went to dinner at night, and so it was just really nice that everything was kind of in that space, walkable, and I never really felt weirded out by like people on the street. Okay, so the next one is the airport. So some people might say that like the airport's a little dated, it's a little old, it's not really upkept. But I will actually say it's a pro for me because it was like super fast. So the line for customs was fast. The customs people were really nice. You got to like walk up the airplane, which I always think is fun versus like going through that stupid little tunnel because you're like, look at the island. I'm walking down the plane. I feel fancy. Like you're in a private jet. No, I'm just kidding. But I found the airport really nice. And then when we were checking in, it was super fast. Like, so instead of having like this very fancy airport for me, I just like being able to chill out and not have to wait in line for a long time. So I thought that the airport was pretty efficient and there was food in there. So whatever, like done, bam, gone. Okay, so I think that my favorite thing about Turks and Caicos was really that it had this fun atmosphere. Like I said, I think it's an island for tourists, like they expect tourists. And so I think that most things are there to kind of just be easily accessible for tourists, and everyone in hospitality just kind of knows that. But I will say that the things that made it fun were, yes, like the people that we talked to were very fun, and everyone that we got to engage with was really fun. I'm going to talk about Miss Flo in a minute, okay? I started calling her Auntie Flo because we love Auntie Flo. So I'll talk about her, but just really friendly, cordial. I can say the same thing about our Airbnb host, our property manager, Catherine. Super lovely, super friendly, and that was the same like whenever we go out to eat or get drinks or whatever. So the couple of the fun things that were like atmosphere, I kind of talked about the casino, but like again, just really nice in there. But my aunt almost cussed out one of the security guards. But we're not gonna talk about that. I remember later. But we went to a casino. There's a couple of them. One was Casablanca. That's not the one we went to. We went to the other one. I'm back. The casino is the Ritz-Carlton. So other than that, it was great. But I was like, come on, I should know this name. Okay, it's a common name, Ritz-Carlton. All right. And then I will also say one of the other fun things that we did was go to Noah's Ark. It is basically the party place. It was very ratchet. It's a bar on the water, but it was a lot of fun. Drinks are expensive there. They were like $25 a drink. If they liked you, they might give it to you $10. So just go being cute, you know what I'm saying? But we had a lot of fun there. They played really good music, a good mix, and also I will say that the day that you go to Noah's Ark really matters. So we went on a Sunday, and Miss Flo, I'm gonna talk about Miss Flo, okay? Miss Flo, okay, she told us like y'all need to go on a Sunday because if you go on a different day of the week, it won't be as like busy, and so you like nobody wants to go to a club while it's like, you know, kind of like dead, because we ended up going by it on the charter the next day and it was like dead and boring. So we're glad that we went on the Sunday. We got a lot of good drinks, we partied, and I told one of my coaching clients that my goal is to not remember my name by the time I got back, and so I did forget my name in Noah's Ark, and I was feeling good and we had a good time. So I'm sure there's gonna be a video somewhere about me enjoying myself on Noah's Ark. Okay. All right, so how am I doing with my first like lifestyle travel video vlog? Okay, are y'all liking it? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. Okay, so now we're getting into cons, okay? Because these cons, I'm just kidding. All right, so my first con is transportation. So, okay, so first of all, transport, we didn't use taxis. While we were there, we didn't do rentals. We are not driving on the other side of the street. Okay, first of all, so that's one thing to know, right? So if you're not comfortable doing that, it might be a little bit more expensive for you to get around, because you'll have to do taxis versus rentals. A transport for us from the airport to our villa was $20 a person. We have an 11 party group, right? So that got. If we were doing those transfers over and over, that would have been expensive. And I also think that's way lower than other ones because our Airbnb host were our transfers. Like, they helped us out with that. So I would say, like, transportation, if you're not walkable distance to some of the place that you want to go, then it might be really hard for you to go there. So, for instance, like, we went to dinner at Mr. Grouper, and we went to dinner at the Conch Shack, which, great, we're gonna talk about food in just a minute. But like that got expensive for a group of 11, right? Luckily, okay, we have Miss Flo, and I will put Miss Flo's number below if you are looking to travel to Turks and Caicos and you don't want to spend a lot of money on the regular taxis or transports or rentals. She was our best friend, and we actually found her. So somebody put her information on TikTok. My cousin found her, and then we reached out, and she had us. She like transferred us all across the entire island, and she was fabulous, and she took good care of us and gave us a hookup on all of the different things. So if you want somebody who's a local and going to do right by you, and she's gonna take you around and she's gonna love on you, okay, then you want to go ahead and contact Miss Flo, and I'm putting her number below. And I'm not getting anything from Miss Flo. Miss Flo is just a lovely human that you should go around with, okay? So her name will be down there, and she's my auntie now. Okay, don't tell my actual auntie, but she's my auntie now. But back to transportation. Also, I will say this other thing that I noticed, like, I think because there's not like taxis, or maybe because that transport is really expensive, we found that people were like honking at us on the side of the road, like to be like, hey, you want to ride? And they would like pull over. And I know that that's like, after we realized that was happening, that was like, oh, okay, that's just like what happens. But like, it was just like, who are these? Because you're in America, and they honking at you, they try to pick you up off the street. I was like, oh. No, I think it's a normal thing, but I'm not getting no random stranger I'm not getting any random stranger's car in the street. but I will get a Miss Flo's car. Okay. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to chance that, I'm sure there's some economical ways to do that. But just be prepared for transportation being a thing. Okay. Okay. So food. Let's get into this. I feel like there were some members of my party that they were happy with their food the whole time. I felt like the food was hit or miss for me, even at the more, like, the fancier places, like the Conch Shack. So, or I shouldn't say the fancier places, the more famous places, like the Conch Shack. So, I think the first night we went to Castaways. I had a lobster burger there that was delicious. I totally thought going into that the Castaways place was going to be like a total tourist trap, like it was going to be good. I actually really enjoyed my drinks there, and I enjoyed my lobster burger, so hopefully there's food pictures somewhere. Another place that we went to is Aziza, and we went to the Conch Shack and Mr. Grouper. And I personally feel like some of the food there wasn't as great as I would have liked. So for instance, the Conch Shack, I really love their conch fritters. I would hope so. It's called the Conch Shack. But I think I had cracked lobster after that. And I didn't like it as much. It didn't mean it was bad, but it just wasn't like, I wasn't like, woo, gosh. And food there is expensive, right? Because there's like a 12% tax on everything. Everything that I mentioned is 12%, by the way. Doesn't matter what it is, like 12%. Okay, and then there's a service fee, and then like if you want to pay a tip, right? I think the service fee is like 10% from what I've seen. But anyway, and then the food is expensive, so you could end up paying like 30% on everything, food cost wise. Anyway, all of that being said, I just felt like it was hit or miss. One of the things that I did really love is that we did a private chef. I will link her below, like if you want to do a private chef. This was for my grandmother's 75th birthday, and I really loved her food. The macaroni, okay? It was delicious. I loved the crab cakes. We did lamb, jerk chicken. So everything was good. So I know I said I'm saying all these things are good, and I'm in the cons list. But all I'm saying is that I do feel like it wasn't consistent for food. Like, even the places that were bigger places, I was like, there's some hit or misses, which I know is like normal, but I was kind of like, as much as some of these places were hyped, I was like, oh, it's about to be good. It was, but like some of it wasn't. But I will say, the conch was always on par. It's good. We're missing the conch. We're having conch withdrawals. Okay. While it is a con, it's mostly because it's expensive and it was a little bit hit or miss. Like, I was upset about my oxtails, okay? All right, I've talked about food way too much, but I do love food. Okay, so you're probably already sensing a common theme between all of my cons, and I think that really is just expenses. So Turks and Caicos is just an expensive island. Like, we went in there and we were like, oh, some lotion is like $30, okay? Like, for a small bottle, I think a big pack of water was like $30. Like, it can be really expensive to just get general things. Like, I do know, like, if you're trying to go be a little bit more economical, like, you could go to one of the grocery stores and pick up some stuff. But even with all that being said, like, it was really expensive to just get stuff. And my family, we're actually people that normally we will go to the grocery store and like stock up on like a couple of things, but it was just like, and we normally like always have stuff left over, but it was like so expensive that we were like, you know what, we can just eat twice a day. No, I'm just kidding. And we had leftovers and stuff, but it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, you're really not gonna save money by like cooking at home for any period of time. So just go out and do your thing, honey. Go out to Mr. Grouper, go out to Aziza, okay? Go to the Conch Shack and just enjoy your best foodie life, okay? Because you're not gonna save money on the food. Okay, so one thing that I will also say about like the expenses, I already mentioned like that 12% tax on pretty much everything, which is a pretty high tax rate. Then you have that service fee, then you have any tips or whatever. I will also say that even though we did choose to purchase or to, go in together to rent that big Airbnb, which was still expensive, did make it more economical. But when we were looking at some other villas and some other places, like, it certainly will be a huge cost for you unless you kind of find a deal or, you know, some other option that's not a villa. We were in a villa, but it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and then one of the things that was crazy is, so our host, Catherine, was like, oh yeah, there's SwiftEats. And you know, like, it's like their DoorDash or whatever. And we went ahead and ordered, I think, like 2 bottles of, it was for dinner. So we ordered 2 bottles of liquor, 3 bottles of wine, a couple of, like, not expensive liquor, by the way. Not that we get us this amount. And then, like, I think 3 6-packs and, like, 2 6-packs of beer. And it was, like, $400. It was, like, $400. And so, it's just one of those things, like, just anticipate to be spending some money when you go. And if you know that, then you're good. Okay. I'm not going to say I clickbait y'all. But I clickbait y'all a little bit, right? Because I really, really love Turks and Caicos. Like, I felt like if I'm living my extra best luxury life, like I did that, okay? Private chef, private charter, private villa. No, I mean, a villa is private. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we went all out and we did the thing. And we were out there having our Black people in Paris moment. Because I don't say the N-word. Okay, but you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, we was out there balling. Okay, and we had a good time. And so I, like, literally, Turks and Caicos owes me nothing. Like, I would not have changed that trip for the world. It was absolutely everything. But Auntie Flo was like, when y'all gonna come back to see me? And we're like, we're not. Come see us, Auntie Flo. We'll come pick you at the airport, girl. But that being said, like, while it was this amazing, peaceful, like, really, like, rejuvenating type trip and experience, I honestly wouldn't go again. Just because I felt like I saw all that I needed to see. It is a beautiful beach, probably one of the most breathtaking beaches that I've ever seen. I feel like there's more for me to experience in the world, and I just feel like it's not a place where I feel like I need to necessarily experience that again. I do really love travel, and I just, you know, I want to see more of the world. So even though I have all these pros, and some of my cons even sounded like pros, right? I just think like, hey, I wouldn't visit again just because there's so many other places to visit. But 10 out of 10, I hope you go to Turks and Caicos. I think it was a really lovely place for the entire family to go. There was plenty of different things for us to do. And even though it was expensive, like, I would say, like, worth it. Worth every coin, every dollar. Okay, I had to work for it. No. But I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope that it makes you want to go to Turks and Caicos, okay? This was not a Turks and Caicos on a budget video. This was Turks and Caicos, how Mercedes experienced it and how I think you should too. And that being said, let me know if you enjoyed this video, because like I said, my whole goal here is to embrace me being a Black woman in bliss and inspiring you to do the same. So all of that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about Turks and Caicos, if you're gonna go, not go. And no, I didn't talk about Drake because I'm not a Drake fan, but we talked about Drake a lot. And if you came here for the Drake stuff, sorry. Bye.